Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the DC Coin World channel here on YouTube. I've got three 1 penny coins to share with you in this video. The one on the left is dated 1967, the one in the center is dated 1971, and then the one on the right is dated 1992. Now as you can see, there are some different design changes between all three of these pennies. That's why I've chosen these three to talk about in today's video. So let's start off with the one on the left right here. This is a really big coin. It's dated 1961. And then the design change on this one is that it's much smaller. This is when the United Kingdom went to the decimalization system. So they had to put new penny on the top to indicate its value had changed. And then after a while, they removed that new and just replaced it with one because people had gotten used to these coins right here after the decimalization system. So let's talk about this one right here first. We'll probably spend like a minute or a minute and a half talking about each one of these coins. So this one is dated 1967, and the image on this is actually rather crisp, which is great to share with you on this channel. So the design for this particular coin was used from 1954 up until 1970. 1971 is when the decimalization occurred. Its value is 1 penny, which translates to 1/12 of a shilling. It's the new penny is much easier to translate as it's just 0.01 of a pound. The metal content of this coin is bronze. It has a weight of 9.6 grams and a diameter of 31 millimeters. Now for comparison's sake, let me share with you the size of a United States penny right here. So you can see the old UK pennies are much bigger than the regular US penny that we have today. Now the more modern penny, which we'll share with you a little bit later, has a more, it's a closely shaped to the United States penny, but this one right here, much bigger. On the reverse image, which is what we're looking at right here, it features a seated figure of Britannia facing the right, with trident in left hand and shield bearing the Union flag in right hand. Behind the seated Britannian is the C, with a lighthouse to the left and the denomination above, and the date is below. So lighthouse right here, denomination 1 penny, and then date below. Now if I zoom in a little bit more, you can see a very nice image of the Union flag located on the shield. Then there's the trident, and then there's the figure of Britannia seated right there, and we even see the details in the waves in the back. Now on some coins that are a little bit more worn out, the waves will be a little bit harder to distinguish, but this one right here is in great shape. When we flip it over, we see a very young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. She is facing the right, and this again is a uncrowned portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The lettering going around the outside of the coin translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen of Defender of Faith. So that's the lettering going around the outside. As you can see, there are some abbreviations there, and it doesn't spell out each one of those. Now let's bring in two of the more modern 1 penny coins. So we'll flip it over to see the dates. This one is dated 1971, and I believe this one's 1992. Yep. So we see between these three coins, we see three different portraits of Queen Elizabeth II. These two right here have her wearing a crown. Let's start with this one right here on the left. The one on the left was made from 1971 until 1981. Its value is abbreviated .01 GBP, which translates to about 1.3 United States cents. Its metal content, again, is bronze, has a weight of 3.56 grams and a diameter of 20.32. The obverse image of Queen Elizabeth II that you see right here, this is the second crown portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And when we move to the coin on the right, this is actually the third crown portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. We'll flip it over. Now the key design change on this reverse right here is that this says new penny up at the top, and this one says 1 penny. Now the image that you see in the very center there, that's a crown portcullis with chains. It's an adaptation of the badge of Henry VII, which is now the badge of the Palace of Westminster. We also see the face value of the coin, which is 1 penny for each of these. Now, the one I have on the left is dated 1971. There were 1,521,666,250 of these produced. So there are quite a lot of these 1971 1 pennies that were made. The one on the right, I would venture to say that the mintages are going to be much, much, much lower. And in fact, they are. There are just 253,867,000 of these produced for the one on the right. The one on the right was made from 1992 up until 1997. Now, 252 million is still quite a lot of them. 253 million is still quite a lot. So you might have come across one of these, and it's not going to be worth more than face value unless it's in really great shape. All right, that's all I've got for this video. I'll give you kind of a recap of the 3 coins that we looked at right here. Let's take a moment to look at the obverse side of all 3 of the coins. So again, in the center, we have the 1967, 1971, and 1992, all 3 different portraits of Queen Elizabeth II. Let's flip it over. You gotta flip them over and rotate. So here we have the different reversed images. Now this one right here obviously looks a lot better, I think. I like that design. Wish they would have really stuck with it, but this is a okay design, I guess, as well. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for today's video. If you're into coin collecting, please do check out some of the other videos on this channel. Thank you very much, everyone, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy.